Hi guys. So I'm begging you, and I'm talking right to you. If you are listening to me speak, I see you there at your computer on your phone. Get a fucking long term. And I don't know how to be more clear about this. Like if you're sitting on the sidelines here, it's a risk in itself to not participate in the market because you're essentially losing money on inflation, and it's also a risk to be stupid and to try and trade in an environment like this. So just get a fucking long term, guys. I don't know how to be more clear about that. So let's talk about what happened this week. First, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. Okay, so you can see the Wall Street bets community is taking this well, and I'm actually not. That kind of sounded sarcastic, but I'm serious. Things aren't that bad, and the boys are here memeing, so that's good. Obviously, some people are getting hurt. And this guy right here, don't be this guy. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. Is this fella was over levered, um, or something. I don't know what positions he had, but to be down to I probably zero data expire contracts on Friday there or something like that. But to do this in an environment where a tweet can flip the market like that is just borderline retarded. So yeah, here's the long term, guys. Please get one. And I'm trying to help you. If you're listening to this video, all I want is you guys to set yourself up for the future, right? And be smart, right? Because the era of the long term is dying. It's a dying art where people just want to get rich quick, and they're not, well, like a fucking impatient motherfucker will hear me talk about the long term, and he'll say, "Nah, fuck that. I could be rich tomorrow." And yeah, you could, but you could also be this guy, right? And so let's not do that, and let's just talk about what happened this week, right? So we had a couple tweets from Trump, or whatever, Truth Social posts, kind of talking about how China is getting more aggressive in their acquisition of rare earth materials. Um, and it's kind of ironic they call them rare earth materials because pretty much everyone around the world has some of these, but what makes them rare is the refining process, which has been more or less monopolized by China, and you can see the U.S. trying to catch up, and that was somewhere where if you were in one of these, this was a relatively safe place to be on Friday, as as this was, one of the areas where you didn't really get the downside that the rest of the market had. So let's just kind of discuss what happened here, because essentially 100% tariffs on China was the news right at the bell, or close to it, I guess. And we'll just have to see how this goes. This is in the midst of what I'm told to be credible reports that Xi Jinping is had a stroke, and this happened last year too, which I didn't know, admittedly. So take it with a grain of salt, but I'm being told that this is from credible sources in Chinese media. So, and there are some strange things being said in these tweets, um, where they could be interpreted as maybe Trump taking advantage of a situation in China that could be unprecedented and almost black swan, if I do say so. But we'll just take it with a grain of salt, like I said, and we'll have to see what happens on Monday here. So, um, but as far as what's going on this weekend, we just had JD Vance this morning, kind of walking back things, or just a little bit of reprieve, saying the U.S. is willing to work with China, and that's really all it's going to take, right? The market will be happy if Trump comes out and says, actually, we're just going to do an 80% tariff. That's exactly what we saw back in April, right? We had the Liberation Day and the widespread tariffs, and then slowly he started walking them back, and the market was pretty happy with that. So, do we get the same thing here? Well, I don't know why JD Vance is even commenting on this, right? Somebody take this guy's mic away and just let the two leaders duke this one out. And okay, so let's just talk about my thoughts here. I'll try and keep this video short. Um, so let's take. I showed you guys how to take a Fibonacci, so we're just gonna look at that Fibonacci from the April low to what I'm gonna say is the end of our current uptrend. You know, it's like I'm gonna discuss here. It might not be the end of it, but as you can see, a pullback to the 236 would still be the uptrend, and that would be strong support if we caught it at the 236, right? So just based off vibes here, I do feel like Trump might come out on Monday or early this week and say no, we're actually going to do a 200% tariff, uh, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Sorry for that terrible impression, but yeah, the market manipulation here is is something to be looked at, right? So I could easily see Trump dumping it a little bit further, letting his boys buy at this support, and then we continue upwards for our Santa rally. So this wedge, as you can see, we're breaking the wedge, but we are still very much in an uptrend. If I just quickly, you know, we've got a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and now a higher low. So the trend is not broken. Even if you come all the way down here, this would still be quite an uptrend. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. And like I said, it's not really based on anything. It's more just a vibes kind of feel. So um, did I mention get a long term? That's the most important thing here is get a fucking long term, right? So and this is a good opportunity, right? You don't want to buy at all-time highs, and here we go. You've got a window here, but the risk at this point might be a little much. Like I said, yeah, the risk to reward there doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So let's just wait and see. Worst case scenario, you do get the bounce back, and then we buy at the bottom of this wedge again, I guess. Even though the wedge is sort of invalidated by this move on Friday. And you can see that Bitcoin has caught a bounce, and that's coming off of JD Vance's comments there. But I just have a feeling we're gonna hear from Trump early next week, kind of reiterating what he said on Friday, and then maybe walking it back, right? Because I think these guys are too greedy to let this be the end of the rally. Um, like I said, they're probably just gonna load up down here and we're going to continue on our way, but I don't know what's going to happen. So just be smart, get a long term. Yeah, let's look for opportunities on the upside for now, right? You know, we can talk about downside if things actually start to break, but we're a long ways from actually having that discussion yet. That's why I find it so hilarious that, you know, it's the worst day since April. So there's reason for Wall Street bets to be memeing like this, and it's all in fun as long as you have a long term and you're not getting blown up like this guy. So uh, yeah, if you're getting sick by a 3% move, you're probably playing with too much. Um, so just keep that in mind, and I guess that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. Oh, actually, let's take a look at one more thing. So I'm going to show you a new indicator here. So this is actually, we got too much going on here. So let's turn off the Bollinger Bands. Maybe I'll show you guys that another day. But here's our moving averages. So this is essentially the average price over a certain time. The blue one is our 50-day. Yeah. And the yellow one is the 200-day moving average. So as you can see, we are approaching the 50-day moving average. And so that's a good opportunity for a bounce. but I kind of like the idea of maybe a bounce and then down to this one, and then we go. So we're watching that now, and I guess I'll leave the wedge here for now. But when a piece of news like this comes out, it sort of invalidates the technical analysis on a pattern like this, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens, guys. I think that's about it. Like I said, I thought I had more to talk about here, but it's really not that bad, and that's why I kind of get a kick out of people acting like this. Okay, here's one. Just while I have the chart, this is kind of turning into just my thoughts candidly in the moment here as I'm flipping through charts. But how is this not bullish for Intel? If trade tensions pick up with China, I can't see a scenario where Intel doesn't benefit from that. So, like I said, we're a long ways off from our cost basis, but this feels like it would be bullish. Obviously, I'm biased, right? It's our largest position, but how is it not bullish for Intel? So I guess that's about it, guys. Like I said, I'm just gonna wait and see here. Looking for one more red day. Like I said, maybe you get a little bounce in the morning here, and then you hear from Trump and 200% tariff. We get the best tariffs, and then maybe he walks it back. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later.